Hello friends, I'd like to welcome you once again to this channel where we discuss proficiency exams, particularly IELTS. In our previous videos we talked about the format and we talked about speaking, but today we are going to concentrate on the listening test. Listening is very important because it has so many things that are involved, especially you have to multitask when you are listening or when you are taking the listening test. For instance, you have to listen, you have to write the answers, and then you have to read the question. So these three things, when you put them together, it requires that you focus and you try to concentrate on what you are hearing and what you are reading. Now, the format of the listening test is such that it is in 4 sections or 4 parts. And then in each part or each session, you're going to listen to a recording. Now, the first part or this first session is a recording between 2 people. 2 people will be in a conversation, will be in a dialogue talking about something. It could be a telephone conversation. Then the second part, which is section 2, you also listen to a recording, but in this case it is not a conversation, neither is it a dialogue, but it is a recording where just one person is giving a talk. It could be a tour guide describing a place to tourists. It could be a lecturer talking about something, but the whole thing is that it is a recording which involves one person. Now, in the third recording, or in the third part, where it is also a recording that has to do with 2 people or 2 or more people in the same conversation. Now, the fourth recording is also about one person just talking about something or giving a talk on something. That is the types of recordings that you are going to listen in each and every section in the listening test. Now, one thing about the listening test is that you have different types of questions you're going to answer. You can answer questions on form filling, you can answer questions on short answers, fill-ins, as well as multiple choice. You can even have a diagram where you're supposed to label the diagram by listening to the audio. You can as well have a map where you follow the map based on what you hear, as well as answer the questions in the question paper or on the map. Now, one important thing about listening is that anytime you are answering fill-ins, you have to pay attention to the type of word that you are using, because if it is a fill-in, then it means that word that you put there should fill in the sentence. So you have to consider the tense, you have to consider the type of word. So is it a past tense? Is it a present tense? Is it a future tense that you have to fit there? You have to consider all that. Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it a pronoun? You have to also consider that. So fill in, you have to pay attention to the type of word that you are fitting there, the type of tense that you fit in there. When it is a diagram that you are going to label, the first thing is that in listening test, you'll be given some time to read through the questions. Now, when you have that time, you have to pay attention to the parts of the diagram that are fully labeled. Those parts that are fully labeled, you pay attention to it because they are serving as clues for you to get an answer to the parts that are not labeled. So pay attention to the parts that are labeled, and if there are identifiable features in the diagram, you have to pay attention to that one as well. In multiple choice, we use keywords because it is the keyword in the sentence or in the question that you match it with the keyword that you are listening that will provide you with the answer to select. So you pay attention to keywords when it is multiple choice. But as I said, if it is sentence completion, you make sure the word that you fit in that particular space provided will fill or will complete the sentence. Now, sometimes we should be very mindful of how we spell. If you are not too sure of the word that you spell, because you'll be given some time to transfer your answers, make sure all your answers are on the question paper, so that when you have the time to transfer your answers, you now check your spellings. Because they don't want you to make a lot of mistakes on the answer sheet, that is how come you're given 10 minutes to transfer your answers. So within that 10 minutes, you have to check every word that you have spelled, and then every sentence that you have completed, so that you can now work within the grammatical area of assessment and then the spellings as well. It's important that we listen to the audio by focusing on the question, concentrating on the audio. because if you lose focus and if you lose your concentration, you might not be able to get the answers to fill all the spaces in there. Now, with the listening test, you pay attention to what you are reading. As I said, you have several types of tasks that you're doing. It is a multitask kind of exam where you do so many things at a time. Let us pay attention to the audio, because it is in the audio that we can find all the answers to the 40 questions that we are answering. It doesn't matter the section that we are listening to, but every answer that we are supposed to look for in the question can be found in the audio. So we pay attention to what we are listening. This is what I want to share with you today. Subscribe to our channel and then join me next time in my next video. But in the meantime, make sure you write the right way, you speak the right way, you listen to things the right way, and then you read the right way. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Achilinks Travel Consult. Join our social media platform for more information and more packages. Thank you. See you next time.